16 everyday habits that stray from Jesus' teachings. Christians are called to follow Jesus' example of love, compassion, and humility. However, even when we have the best intentions, there are times when our actions and attitudes can stray from his teachings. Despite being common among many, even Christians, this article explores 16 everyday behaviors that often conflict with the core values that Jesus taught. These are important reminders to realign our lives with the true spirit of Christianity. Welcome to my channel, God's Care Jesus. Let's start this amazing video. Lack of empathy and compassion. Jesus always showed deep empathy and compassion for others, especially those who are suffering. When we fail to show understanding and kindness to those in need, we miss the heart of Jesus' message. Compassion isn't just about feeling sorry for someone. It's about taking action to help and support them, reflecting the love that Jesus showed to everyone he encountered. Being unforgiving. Forgiveness is at the core of Jesus' teachings. He emphasized it repeatedly, urging us to forgive others as we have been forgiven. Holding on to grudges or refusing to forgive can harden our hearts and distance us from the grace that Jesus offers. Being unforgiving harms our relationships with others and strays from the path of love and reconciliation that Jesus paved for us. Condemning before understanding. Jesus never rushed to judgment. Instead, he sought to understand people's struggles and offer them guidance with love. We stray from this compassionate approach when we jump to conclusions and condemn others, without trying to understand their circumstances. True Christian love requires patience and a willingness to listen before making any judgments. Being self-righteous. Jesus taught humility and warned against self-righteousness, yet it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we're morally superior to others. When we do this, we distance ourselves from the humility that Jesus exemplified. Being self-righteous alienates us from others and blinds us to our own needs for growth and grace. Supporting and ignoring injustice. Jesus stood up for the oppressed and called for justice, so we must not turn a blind eye either. We stray from his teachings when we ignore or support injustice, whether through action or inaction. It's not enough to simply avoid doing wrong. We are also called to fight against the wrongs we see in the world actively. Ignoring injustice goes against the very essence of what Jesus stood for. Being hypocritical. Jesus was pretty clear about how much he disliked hypocrisy, especially from religious leaders. When what we do doesn't line up with what we say, we're basically doing the same thing. This kind of behavior not only affects how others see us as Christians, but also hurts our relationships. To truly follow Jesus, it's important to live with integrity and ensure our actions match our beliefs. Prioritizing wealth over generosity. Jesus really emphasized the importance of being generous, especially to those who are poor and in need. When we focus more on building up our own wealth instead of helping others, we're missing the point of his teaching. Living as a true Christian means using what we have to bless others, not just ourselves. Generosity is all about showing the same selfless love that Jesus showed us. Using religion for personal gain. Jesus criticized those who use religion to gain power or status. When we use our faith as a tool for personal advantage, we're not following Jesus' example of humility and service. Faith should lead us to serve and inspire others, not to elevate ourselves. Straying into this behavior can damage our relationship with God and with others. Excluding others based on differences. Jesus welcomed everyone, regardless of their background, race, or social status. We stray from his inclusive love when we exclude others because they're different from us. Christianity is about bringing people together, not creating barriers. Embracing diversity and loving others, as Jesus did, is central to living out our faith. Neglecting our environment. Jesus made it clear that we're supposed to take care of God's creation. If we neglect the environment or contribute to its damage, we're not doing our job in looking after the world God trusted us with. Protecting the environment is part of our duty as Christians, and ignoring it goes against what Jesus taught. Judging people harshly. We're reminded not to judge others because we all have our own flaws. When we judge people harshly, we're missing out on showing the same mercy and grace that Jesus gives to everyone. This kind of harsh judgment often creates division and pain, driving people apart instead of bringing them together. But Jesus wants us to focus on healing and unity, offering understanding and kindness rather than criticism. Seek revenge. Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek and forgive those who wrong us. When we seek revenge, we stray from his teachings of forgiveness and peace. Revenge may feel satisfying in the moment, but it ultimately leads to more pain and conflict. Following Jesus means choosing forgiveness over retaliation. Neglecting prayer and reflection. Jesus regularly took time to pray and reflect, keeping his connection with God strong. When we neglect prayer and reflection, it's easy to lose touch with our spiritual center. Just like any relationship, our bond with God needs regular communication and introspection to stay strong. If we don't make time for these practices, our faith can start to weaken, and our spiritual well-being might suffer. Staying connected to God through prayer and reflection helps keep our faith grounded and our spirits healthy. Engaging in gossip. Gossip can be incredibly damaging, spreading rumors and hurting others. Jesus emphasized truth and love in our speech. When we engage in gossip, we're not only hurting others, but also straying from the honesty and kindness that Jesus taught. Keeping our conversations positive and constructive is key to living out our faith. Not accepting the lookless community. Jesus taught love and acceptance, not hate. When Christians harbor hate or disdain from members of the lookless community, they stray far from the inclusive and unconditional love that Jesus demonstrated. After all, they're still our brothers and sisters in the eyes of God, no matter their sexuality. Remembering that Jesus called us to love our neighbors as ourselves, without exceptions, is essential. Hating others contradicts the very foundation of his teachings.